Hi, welcome to my video. Sorry for the noise next door. Somebody's having some work done in the garden, so I'm trying to time it in between their work to get as little noise as possible. So I hope you can still follow this. I'm popping on now. I'm going to start out getting a regular time. It's just trying to find that right time, looking after the boys and whatnot, and schooling the boys at home. So this is the daily energy video. For the energies of the day. It's where I combine the energy work that I do and the tarot work that I do to bring a narrative to you to help guide you on your day, to help you make the most out of the day, the energies within you, around you, and within others. And this is for September the 11th, 2020. Now, we all know for our American brothers and sisters, for the world, September the 11th is an important day to reflect on the possibilities of what can and does happen to brothers and sisters around us, ourselves, through violence, through fear, and through that being control. And so we do have that to contemplate today, and the energy is heavy with that today. The powers that be work with ceremony. They work with times, they work with numbers. They haven't forgotten a lot of the information that over the generations we forgot to fight to keep. And so they use that, and they use that in powerful magic that can make their stand very strong, that can make their stand very confusing, and that can ultimately cause things like 9/11. And, you know, we think of all of the people that have I'm trying to find the chat on here, one second. We think of all of the people that we, where is the chat? How can I chat? How did I lose the chat? I don't know. So we think of all of the people that are still mourning, that have lost in an untimely way loved ones during that day, and the feelings that brings up in them and the people around them, and indeed within us all, because, you know, 9/11 should really stand for something that any doubters of, you know, people playing games, the powers that be playing games with those who are willing to allow them to do so, you know, 9/11 should be a real, there's the comments, found them. Hi, Tatkins Jr. I keep saying that wrong. Hi, mate. Oh, hi, Callum. Haven't seen you for ages. So we think about all of those things that, you know, that you say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. It's impossible. It can't possibly be. Well, yeah, they did. And then they do it in a great way, on the wider stage, in a very impactful way. So we're dealing with all of that today. So be aware of that. So the first cards are the Two of Cups. Can you see that? But it's in reverse. So this speaks to where in the right way up it would be passion, divine balance, divine feminine, divine masculine balance within. Upside down, this is unbridled passion, which can be a good thing, not in the energies of today. This is where this can be hooked into, where their healing hasn't occurred, because the second card clarifying that is the Star card, major arcana of healing, of hope, of the dream world, transmuting those energies, learning your lessons, wearing the scars with pride, but not living in the scars anymore. However, with the Two of Cups in reverse, we see it around us, within the people around us. There are people that haven't heard the call to do the inner work, to balance out those wounds, to balance out those things that would cause them to be of unbridled passion, of an unhinged nature. And so we're going to see a lot of that today within people. And don't think that is any accident. The lead up of this last 7 months, with the propaganda being thrown at us, with the information, the wrong information, the lies, the manipulation, the half-truths, all of those things have been building up to a moment, and certain moments that have been well thought out, well planned out, and the symbolism of a murderous day that is represented in 9/11. It wasn't a mass murder. We see that they're going to use that, and they can only use that by hooking in to things that we haven't dealt with, to emotional triggers that we haven't transmuted, that we haven't learned from, that we haven't got under control. We have to finish off the spell for them. They can cast the spell out, but be damn sure we finish it off. So if we are not doing our inner work, our inner healing, we're going to see people losing their shit today. We're going to see people do things that you think, why would they do that? You're going to see things on the collective stage today and this week and the rest of this weekend. You're going to see things that are decisions that are made through, hey Colin, hi. So you're going to see decisions that are made that you think, why would they have made those decisions? Decisions within courts, decisions within politics. And you think, why would they have done that? Why? Because it's the perfect recipe to have unbridled, unhealed, unhinged passions rising. People fighting with other people, division. And so that is what is planned for today. That is what is going ahead this weekend. So the world card being the second card. So, they're creating, they're putting the work in, they're putting their passions in to create the world, the reality that they want. They're channeling people into position, channeling people into the reality that they're trying to create. We have the power still, but it's within each individual to do that inner work, to get these divine feminine, divine masculine aspects within balanced out, so they don't remain as triggers, so they don't remain as unhealed triggers, unhinged triggers that can be hooked into at any given moment. You have to fill that void with our own healing, with our own understanding, to create the reality that we want, to create the reality that we want. Hi, Thomas. To create the reality that we want to create. Otherwise, they're going to fill the void. They're going to use people, in the public that have these unhinged, unbalanced ideals inside. The news propaganda, the decisions that courts are going to be making is going to make people, hi Cordia, is going to make people explode. So it is a day for watching out, being careful. I'm not a scaremonger at all, but being careful, particularly my American brothers and sisters, of, planning your journey, not being caught up somewhere in crowds. Because there are many people that, choose to finish off that spell for them, that choose to create that void that they can fill. And it will be, hey Theodore, say hi to everybody, it's live, to fill that void, to be able to see explosions happening, division happening. So it's important for us to be doing the work to create the world that we want to create. The card clarifying the world card is the Eight of Pentacles. Is it 5, 6, 7? 7 of Pentacles, sorry. So there's a slight mourning here. There's a slight sentimentality here. To much love to you, Thomas. There's a slight sentimentality here to the reality that we've been living in. For those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, there's a slight energy of mourning here for the things that we've built up within those systems that we've been under that we like. And it's like avoidance of looking at the reality that, we're in a time and it's a time to stand. But we do that stand from doing that inner work, doing that healing, because they can only finish off these spells to make people explode and divide if there's a void there to fill, or if there's a trigger there to get a hold of, to get a hook of. And so there is that slight, we're not in the place that we need to be. I.e., we need to be very aware right now. We need to be very alert right now and very discerning. Bosto, to you, be of service to others. I love that, Thomas. to be discerning as to how we go forward, to not have this unbridled, unbalanced reaction to things that are being put out there to us. So the last two cards is the Magician, another major arcana. So we have lots of major arcanas in a very small spread. Now this Magician has lightning coming into his hand, and his other hand is pointing down towards the earth. This is him being the conduit of the as above, so below, with all of the tools on the table to create what he needs. I'm telling you, and it might be far out for some people, that there is dark magic being cast all the time, but you know, there is very dark magic being cast from the powers that be, you know, from these magicians, these wizards that know the old ancient knowledge, that know the creation of the as above, so below. Right now, as the Leo King would put it, we're in the battle of the gods within the planets, the way the alignments are going. Below, we're seeing that, and these people who would call themselves gods, these powers that be, that would be above us, you know, aren't working in our best interests. And so it's to get out of that illusion that they are, and to realize that yes, they are already in separation. I miss my boys and wife. Oh, sorry, Thomas. I'm so sorry to hear that. We need to realize that we also have the capacity to do this. This is why all of the wars to find the ancient knowledge, to find the ancient artifacts that would let us know this. We already have the capacity to work with the elements and be the magicians also. We have all of the tools and experiences on the table, and that's where the Star card comes in. All of these pains, hurts, and wounds within our lives should be used as training ground, should be used as boot camp in order to make us excel in our magicianhood, in our magic skills, in our manifestation skills, to be the bridge, again, to hook back into the World card and the Seven of Pentacles, to create the reality that we want to be in, not that we're commanded to be in, not the reality that is made up for us. Hi, Anne. But the reality that we have intent towards creating, not what is done for us. And so, you know, we see that it symbolizes communications from the powers that be, from, you know, mainstream media, the elite globalists, whatever you want to say about it, you know, are going to be very distorted, very disfigured, intent to create that imbalance of the divine feminine, divine masculine, with that Two of Cups in reverse, with intent to hook into wounds that we haven't given the star card energy time to heal and transmute. But the star card energy is us. That is our capacity also. 2-year-old Jacob should be singing with me though. I know, sweetheart, I'm sorry about that. I'll talk to you about that more at another time. I'm sorry about that, Thomas. So to clarify the Magician card, we have the Devil card. You see, the Devil card, which way am I going? It's so confusing with the camera. The Devil card is for our instincts. It's our instincts, our unbridled power. It gives us power if we use it correctly, but it gives them power to turn the reality upside down. If we see the divine feminine star, now which way do I turn it for you to see? It's turned upside down above the devil's head, creating an imbalance. Distorting that symbol does so much to distort in the view of the divine feminine within the reality that we live in. The Devil card can remind us that where we see this divine feminine, divine masculine chained up to his heels, to the base of him, we see that we are chained by our inner demons, not demons that, you know, are which you know are around, but not demons that are out attacking us and making them, you know, that where their number one prey, but the demons that within us, our inner demons, our diamonds, the very things that give us immense power and intense passion, intense drive, But until we do the star card and do that inner healing with these inner demons and chisel these dull diamonds that don't shine into dull demons that don't shine into chiseled diamonds, into shapes that create bouncing light from the base of us, that is how we use the power of the devil card. But we're running around being afraid of a devil that is outside of us. No, the powers that be right now in this time are just using their inner devils, their inner demons, the way that they like to, in a distorted lower frequency. That is their choice. But it is our choice to be able to chisel our inner demons, to create light that bounces right from the base of our spine all the way, reverberates all the way off every bone, off every cell, right up through the pineal gland. It's our capacity to do that, to channel this kind of magic from our lower realms to our higher realms, from our higher realms to our lower realms, to be like one of those toys that you twist and see all of the colors. It's so important to grasp this ideal today in particular. It's something I've been going on about for quite some time. But you know, right now is the day that when the people have been taking the call to do this inner work, to do this channeling from their lower realms to their higher realms, from their higher realms to their lower realms, and using the whole of self, rather being frightened of the darker side of self, rather being a bit frightened of the lighter side of self, but being brave enough to know self, enough to use the whole of self, because that is what the powers that be are doing. That is what the people who are controlling this matrix and controlling this realm are doing, to cause this separation, this division around us, and like Thomas, in our individual lives. It's time to take back control. Look at what we're doing. We have got our world locked down one minute, open the next. Look at the number the UK has put on gatherings. You can go to work in a call centre, yeah, and work alongside 100 people in the same room. But don't you dare go out in any more numbers than 6 if you're socialising. Demonizing the number 6, the lover's card, the divine feminine, divine masculine union within. And so this is magic that is happening. Magic doesn't have to come with a hat and a rabbit. This is what we're seeing, the control of the masses, because this has only been done through magic and hooking in to us being too complacent about us being too complacent to do the inner work, to do the healing, to not live by our scars but wear them proudly as lessons, to create them as tools for our magician's table, to know the rule of as above, so below, to connect with the powers of the planets, the alignments that they're in, to create a circuit board, to create the reality that we stand on right now, the earth within, with that world card, you know, to create in the devil card, to accept our lower frequency selves, but use it in a way to create, to go forward, to have that drive and passion, the same drive and passion that the powers that be for generations have had and have passed down like a torch, like an Olympic torch. It's time for us to take that back, and we do that not by ignoring our darker side, our lower realms, but chiseling them, polishing them, making them as strong and shiny as diamonds, in order to have our full capacity as the magicians, to create the reality that we want to be in, that we want our children to be in. But be aware of news, headlines, things that we're going to get pummeled with today regarding, that will put us into fear, that will try and make us forget that we are the magician. Be aware of people and headlines and things trying to hook into our lower realms, where we might have addictions, where we might have a tendency to self-destruct. You get there first. You chisel those inner demons into the diamonds. that you can stand upon, that will reverberate light right through your spine, that will make any Kundalini work explosive. It's a whole self, not a part of self, to channel that whole self, to create the reality that you individually want to create and the reality collectively that we really need to make a stand for, that we want to create, of unity, of empowerment, of balance. Thomas the Rhymer. Yeah, eternal flame. Yeah, Thomas, that eternal flame, it takes the whole of self to create that. And they pass down that flame. They with all of the knowledge in it from generation to generation. Our complacency to not do that and to allow them to covet, to make it a cult, that information has got us where we are today. Hey, Glemmer. Hey, Glemmer Spence, you're very welcome for the reading. So on the bottom of the deck, we have the Water Princess, so the Page of Cups. So a lot of news, a lot of things that it might involve our children. Be aware of that. Be aware of suggestions that they're making that may become law regarding our children. That might wake some people up for sure. But also messages through mainstream media, through and in our individual lives too, personal messages that might hook into that, a lot of that child that hasn't been healed within self, a lot of those fears. It's all right, Susie, I just jumped on. There's work happening next door, so I've just jumped on when they're having a bit of a quieter time to get it done. But it's a very, very powerful day. So the inner child work that may not have been done, look out for that, the news that might hook into those fears. Look out for things that are being very creative in order to hook in. And so the next card on the bottom of the deck is the Temperance card. And this speaks of us to be the alchemist. So we have very similar energies, where there is healing with alchemy, with transmuting those emotions, those wounds into something that we can use, something that is a scar to remind us, give us lessons to take us forward, but not live in. And then we see the Temperance card balancing out and alchemizing, turning the water into wine, bypassing the two jugs, transmuting that energy in that process across the heart chakra. The Temperance card asks us to have self-control, self-discipline, to create a balance within. This is all about balance within. This is all about staying balanced in the storm, that, you know, whether the propaganda, the news, even the individuals in our individual life. Hi, Ron. As Merlin said, use magic only for good. Yes, Ron. Yeah, and we do, but we do need to realize that there are many that do not use the magic for good. They do not use it with good intent. They use it for good of themselves, and that's their choice. That's their choice. That's the reality they chose to live in. But we need to, you know, be more sovereign and divine about our sovereignty, about that we are people that are sharing this reality to experience the way we can sense things in this reality, touch and smell and love and feel. You know, all of those things are blessings, yes, but this is our reality to create, nobody else's. Thank you, Spirit Heart, for the live you share. Very helpful. Thank you, Cordia. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So, you know, to create this balance within self, to have this self-control, this self-discipline, this mastery of self, self-mastery, all of this reading today, we've got the Star card, healing, mastering our emotional self, mastering our dream world self, our intuitive self, mastering the fact that we can turn things around that even are meant for harm into things that can create strength within us. Then we have the divine feminine, divine masculine balance within, in the Temperance card, again, self-mastery, balance, being able, hey Chris, Yeah, we do. Being able to create that balance and that self-mastery within, to be able to be the ultimate alchemist, that even when a negative energy gets thrown at us, we can transmute it into energy. Energy is energy. When we learn how to work with our energy, we learn how to transmute even negative energy into something that can drive us forward, something that can fuel us. And so then we have, where's the other major arcana? A magician card. Again, self-mastery, knowing our powers that are within. I always turn it the wrong way. Knowing the powers that are within, that as above, so below. The creating from within, so without. To know the tools, all of the tools that we've learned with the star card, the lessons that we've learned, the healing that we've done, all of the tools that we've created with the temperance card, learning balance, self-control, self-mastery, alchemy, bringing it into having all of the tools of the magician card here, with everything on the table for us to use and connect with the energies of the planets to the ground within our feet. And then again, there's another world card. What do you want to create? Are you going to continue letting others, people you've never even met, create the world that you live in, that your children live in, that your grandchildren will live in? Or are you going to be divine? Are you going to get a hold of your own powers and your own strengths and stand as an individual, yet shoulder to shoulder with your brothers and sisters in the collective? The devil card. Are you going to stay in fear? This is another major arcana, and this is a tiny spread to have all of these major arcanas on 9/11. The devil card. Are you going to continue to allow the boogeyman, those inner monsters, to be something that you fear, when really they are your inner monsters? They are part of you, your inner demons that you chain yourself up with. You can use them just as much as you can use your high frequency. You want to be enlightened. You need to know that you don't get enlightened by just dealing with one part of self. It's the whole of self. This is where you chisel those inner demons, those lower realms that you are chained to, into something that is powerful, into something that does nothing but reflect and bounce light from the lower realms of self. Chisel them into your inner diamonds rather than your inner demons, so that you still have that strength and power and passion and drive from the lower realms, but indeed it forces the light up right through you, reverberating right through you. I hope that makes sense, because it is so important. So all these major arcanas today, you know, we can say evil them, you know, how dare they commit the murderous acts of 9/11? How dare they do this? How dare they do that? How dare they make decisions in courts that will create, you know, people to be rioting and divided and their emotions all over themselves? How can they do that? Poor us, evil them. Well, you know, we've all been complicit in just being too complacent. We've all been complicit in just not doing our own inner work and expecting the external savior to do the work. You know, they told the lies, but we accept them because, you know, it's easier. It's easier to have an external force, external demons attacking us, external saviors coming to save us one day, someday, if we're just good, if we continue to do what they tell us to do. And so, hi, Sarah. So it's up to us to say, no, we want to play the game now. We've been, you know, on the bench, you know, watching and hoping as things happen, and, you know, as time goes by. We want to get in the game now. We're part of the game now. We're real characters in this game now. And it really does make a difference to the reality collectively that we will all be living in. But be careful today. Be careful. I'm dropping cards everywhere. Be careful regarding, you know, the tricks that they're going to use and put out today on 9/11. The emotions that they're going to try and hook into today on 9/11, to create division, to create riot, to create upset, to create violence. You know, just don't be a part of it. Don't allow it to hook into you. And if it does trigger you in any way, take it as a cheat. in the game. Take it as a cheat code. That's what I need to work on within me. That's what that child within me is still hurting from that. That child within me is still needing healing from that. Take it as a cheat code rather than something to crush you. And that's where the Star card and the Devil card, being so opposite, are so the same, because there's good within them if you use them right. If you use them wrong, they become a weakness and they become a low frequency attack. And so it's how we use them, how we channel the energies, how we use that is so important. So that's the reading for September the 11th, 2020. Much, much love for all of the people that were directly affected on this day and that worldwide were affected, in loving hearts, connecting with those directly affected. It's a day that, should not be used against us. It's a day that we should be allowed some reprieve to remember and send out love to those that are still within this realm, that still feel that loss like it was yesterday. But that's not going to happen. They're going to use this day, because the numbers are very good for them, to create very strong magic, to try and take away from that, to try and take away from the appreciation of life that we can give for those that lost their life that day and those whose lives changed forever. So before they get a chance to do it, I say much love, much wholeness and balance sent to you from me, however you were affected on this day. And, I stand in absolute remembrance, love and appreciation for those who lost their lives on this day. And that's about as much as we can do for now. So let me look at what people have been saying. Thomas, thank you, Sarah. Thomas, I was on my way on 9/11, emotional hijack, not this time. Good, Thomas, good. You stand in your warrior heart. And the next Saturn/Jupiter conjunction, I'm not going to be distracted. You are so in the know. Yeah, that's absolutely correct, Thomas. So Ron says, I speak violet flames over everybody. Wow, that is powerful. And everything. Violet flames transmute and heals on all levels. Ron, I stand in that intent with you 100%, and do that alongside you, shoulder to shoulder with you. We love you, Susie, because Susie rocks. Thank you, Jennifer. Much love. Sorry, my daughter's ringing. Love, love, love. Love to you too, Thomas. Thomas was my dad's surname. Sarah Bostow, yeah. Bostow, be of service to others, but be of service to self too. Healing for all hearts. I stand with that intent, Susie. I do. Stand shoulder to shoulder with you. Christy, hi. I haven't seen you. Christy, Nicole. Thank you. Bostow and favour to all and much love. You're welcome. You're very welcome, Ron. Thank you. You're so welcome, all of you. I appreciate you all. And I want to send love out to everybody that is here from Wayne's platform. And of course, Susie sets things up. She puts the right people together and magic happens. That's one of her magical skills. And so I just want to say thank you to all of you that have checked my channel out and given me the boost, the energy boost after a lot of hard work, to see that people can come over and enjoy the content that I put out. I send out much appreciation for that. You've got no idea. Susie has every idea of how I feel about it and how grateful I am, and how much gratitude I have for that, from Wayne and from all of you guys that have come over. It's very special to me, and it means a lot to me. So again, that working together, I just want you to all know that you have injected my frequency with a high dose of light, of goodness, of relief and appreciation. So much love to all of you. Colin Van, hi Susie. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Honestly, I appreciate it so much. They're not just words. So I'm going to go off the live and get some stuff done. I'm going to be doing my magic. I'm going to be holding space and time over people and creating good intent today. If they want to put out bad intent, I'm going to put out 10 times more good intent. I suggest we all do the same in however we are led to do so, because you better be damn sure I'm going to be working hard today with my magic. So much love, be balanced and be whole. Mwah.